Hi Penn State fans, it's Nirav Dalal here with Fight on State. The Nittany Lions return home to face the 2-1 Hoosiers after their big win against Georgia Southern. The Hoosiers dropped their first game of the season against Ohio State in a very emotional game where they faced off against their former head coach Kevin Wilson, who's now the OC for the Buckeyes. But the Hoosiers, since that game, have really been gaining quite a bit of momentum and confidence, so this is going to be an interesting battle against Penn State. Offensively, the Hoosiers brought in Mike DeBoard as their offensive coordinator, and for the most part, they run a very similar scheme that we've grown accustomed to over the last few years. The Hoosiers like to spread out across the field. They like to go up-tempo, especially after first downs, to try and put some pressure on the defense and limit the substitutions. They throw the ball around quite a bit and particularly like to get the ball out on the perimeter where their big physical wide receivers and tight end can get some good matchups and try and get the ball down the field. Now, Richard Lago is their quarterback. He's a senior, tall, physical, not real mobile, but his problem has been accuracy. His whole career, he's really struggled with his touchdown to interception ratio and in general his completion percentage. And this senior year is not much different. He's only completing about 58% of his passes. So the wrinkle that the Hoosiers have added this year is bringing in Peyton Ramsey as a change of pace quarterback. He's very mobile, and I expect to see him quite a bit this weekend against Penn State. Lago sitting in the pocket is going to be a sitting duck for this Penn State pass rush, whereas Peyton can try and move things around and get the defense to have to play a little bit more safe to protect against the long run. Now, what's interesting is that the Hoosiers have really been throwing the ball quite a bit for their first few games, but last week against Georgia Southern, they ran the ball incredibly well thanks to their freshman running back, Morgan Ellison. Ellison is a true freshman. He did really well in fall camp, and the Hoosiers have been turning to him more and more. He's a kid that's got some good shiftiness to him. He's quick, and for sure, as he gets older, he's going to add some size. You can see that his frame can handle it. But he's going to be a bit of a challenge for Penn State because he's going to be a little difficult to find behind their offensive linemen. So look for Indiana to try and establish the run and then get the ball out in the perimeters when they've got linebackers crashing in on them. Overall, this offense is really going to struggle a little bit with their consistency. That's their main problem. So look for Penn State, try and get them behind the chains early, and then force them into obvious throwing situations.
Hey Nittany Lion fans, Mark Harrington here, aka PlaybookMark from Fight on State, here to talk about the defensive side of the ball for the Nittany Lions as they take that victory from Iowa, go back home for the throwback game against Indiana. The defense, I'm not sure if it's fully appreciated just how much of a leap this defensive unit made this past week. If you look at the FBS all-purpose rankings, number 1 in the nation is Barkley. Number 6 is Iowa's running back Wadley, and they really not only contained him and bottled him up, really pushed him back outside of 1 or 2 big plays. So on the whole, that's a huge confidence boost for the defense. It gives them an idea of just how to get that pass rush going. Sharif Miller was huge and instrumental in really sparking that. And I think on the whole, you're going to see that pressure. With Indiana's offense, the challenge they have is statistically, they're middle of the pack in most of the offensive categories. But in terms of run offense, they are bottom of the pack. They're number 12. So I think you're going to see them air it out more, try to really get it out to the wings and the flat. And on the whole, try to really spread the ball around to the receivers to keep that box from being stuffed by Penn State. The defensive front, I think you're going to see some different blitzing schemes, really try to pressure that pocket, make them force some decisions, maybe get a turnover or 2 in short yardage situations so that the offense can really work their magic in terms of getting the red zone together. But on the whole, I'm going to say Penn State 35, Indiana 13. Until next time, Fight on State.